Hi. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Kimberly Barrington, and it is Wednesday, March 24th. Can you believe it? We only have like 7 days left in this month. Whew, who knows where it went? But you are rolling with the doc. I am so excited that we have Mr. Anthony R. Williams with us today, who is an investment banker. Yes, friends and neighbors, I have big to do friends. They do me favors. They come and hang out with me on my show. They're like, oh my gosh, get her out of my office. Yes, I'll do it. Dr. Barrington, I'll do it. So I'm so excited to have him here after a couple of months of cajoling.
Well, maybe a little bit.
Yes. I was like, sure. What else do I need to do, sir? And, he decided to come on board. So I am so excited to have him today. Again, as I said, my name is Dr. Kimberly Barrington, and I am the CEO and founder of 100 Shades of Disabilities, where we improve the quality of life for persons with disabilities economically, and that's why he's here. And we do it legislatively and through community partnerships and education. And today we're going to have some education. Yes, we are. So, sir, I told him just a little bit that you're an investment banker, but you can talk about you better than I can talk about you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And it's an absolute pleasure to join you. And me joining you was a matter of when, not if. I think
Okay, well, I'll go with that one. I'll go with that.
that's right. Maybe two asks there. We just had to work a couple things out. But here I am. It's an absolute pleasure to join you and to talk about this very important topic. And in terms of background, we have some things in common. I too am a veteran, Air Force, you're Navy. Got a chance to enjoy an all expense working vacation in Afghanistan back in 2010, 2011. Glad to be home in one piece. Um, I have been in the financial services industry. Gosh, I got my first license in 2001, and had a chance to be a citizen airman, citizen soldier, being in the Air National Guard, one foot there and one foot there in the civilian world. So originally from Detroit, Michigan,
Oh,
been in the
wow.
Midwest. Yeah, been in the Midwest my whole life. My dad's job took us to Indianapolis, Indiana, and then we moved back to Detroit in May of 1980. Um, Lived in Columbus, Ohio for about 10 years.
All
And
right. So I'll go
yeah,
Ohio, go whoop, whoop, whoop.
oh, well, we don't do Buckeyes in this household here. No. Yes, yes. And with a little pit stop in Fort Myers, Florida, with my wife's role, she's in corporate retail. We are back. She's from here, West Michigan, Grand Rapids, and here we are. And this is how you and I met, and happy to be here to, like I said, talk about this important subject matter.
So I'm so excited. Well, as we know, many will receive their third stimulus check,
Hmm.
$1,400 and counting. If you have a spouse, that's $2,800, and if you have children, what is that? 1,000 each,
I believe so.
something like that. So if you have a couple of kids, you're at what, 28, 29, $3,800. What do we do with all that? They say that a family of four or five, I think, is like $5,600 is what they would get.
Mm.
So what do we do with all this money, 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 monies?
Right, right, right. Well, I hope that we are being very fiscally responsible with it. My understanding that the savings rate of America has shot up significantly. So we are saving that money. Um, and a very interesting statistic came out since March of last year, beginning of the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
over 14 million brokerage accounts have been opened. in this country.
Really?
Absolutely. People are investing their money. They're going, I mean, it's so easy to do now. Obviously, you can do it through me the traditional way with an investment advisor, but a lot of it is being done yourself with all the apps that are out there. We don't need to mention any names, but they're right there in your app store, and it's super easy to get started. So people are
Well,
doing that.
let me just tell you on this show, we do shameless plugs. So
Okay.
as long as you have the ability to say it, we have the ability for it to be heard.
Okay. All right. All right.
You know, McDonald's, woo.
Yeah, so people are doing that. All right. But one of the rules of investing is before you begin to invest, you need to have, 3 to 6 months of your living expenses in the bank. Okay.
I have a question about that.
Yes.
Do all people need to have that? I mean, even if you have a reserve or if you live off of your retirement.
It's a general rule. Obviously, there are always an exception to the rule. So
Mhm.
here's the thing, and I've had people come to me in the past, hey, I've got a couple $1,000 and I want to get into the market and make my money grow. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I know this is a good thing to do. And then life happens 2 months later, and they have to go ahead and take that money out. At 60% of Americans don't even have $1,000 of an emergency reserve if something were to happen?
I do.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But many of our fellow Americans
Okay, so
don't have that.
wait a minute. Do we give the disclaimer that he is my investment banker?
Yeah, yeah.
He's my
I think my face said it. Ah,
so,
yes, you do.
so I think that we should probably say at the outset that Mr. Williams is just not a random person. It's someone that uh, we hold pretty reputable around here. And the people that we get to come on the shows are experts in their fields and they have been fully vetted. And so we would not have anyone come on here that would give you information that would be detrimental to you. Because I like my my little wheelchair here. It got a horn on it, and I can ride around. And I don't want nobody suing me talking about they come take my motorized wheelchair away from me. So yes, we just want you to know that he is someone who is reputable, and we're here today to give some really good sound advice because I personally believe that the playing field has been leveled for everyone. Whatever it is that you desire to do in this hour, moving in your purpose, it's available to you.
I 100% believe that. And in spirit of the theme of this show, building Black wealth, it starts with thinking like a wealthy person, realizing that what you just said is so true. I'm using my cell phone to participate in this conversation, but if I weren't, I would be holding this up and saying that that little thing, this device, your two devices, the world is at your fingertips there. Let me say this twice. Success leaves clues.
Wow.
Success leaves clues. And these devices that we hold in our hands, you can find all of them. Okay. Instead of looking at any foolishness, you need to be looking at looking at people tell their story. We all like to talk about ourselves.
Mhm.
And this avenue here that we have, this technology, that you can easily Google and YouTube anyone and talk about and hear their story of success and follow their success. We need to become master observers. They say the attention span is lost every 6 to 12 times per minute.
Oh wow.
6 to 12 times per minute. We need to start paying attention to folks that are doing it. Okay. Success leaves clues. And if you think you can, then absolutely you can have a successful life for yourself. I think Einstein said that imagination is greater than knowledge. And if you can imagine yourself, get that clear vision of your future, you'll and start taking action, you're going to find yourself there and doing little things with this influx of cash that we've gotten with stimulus checks. If there are bills out there that you need to get rid of, take care of that. Okay. You give yourself a raise when you eliminate a bill.
Wow.
Okay. You give yourself a raise when you eliminate debt. Okay. Like I said, 14 million brokerage accounts have been open on their own, people on their own doing it themselves, not using people like me. Again, that cell phone. There's so much knowledge out there on what you can do and how you should do it. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay, one of the most common and frequently used means to transfer money from one person to another is Cash App. And since the pandemic, Cash App has now added in an opportunity for you to start investing some of your money.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big things that's been coming through has been Bitcoin. So, what are your thoughts about Bitcoins?
Bitcoin is probably the most popular cryptocurrency out there. Um, I have a couple different thoughts on that. It kind of reminds me of Tesla, their stock, Amazon. Um, in the beginning, they really struggled with
Mhm.
their stock and they weren't making money, but yet their stock prices continued to go up.
Mhm.
Um, it's you can't deny momentum. You can't deny where cryptocurrencies are going. There are many of them out there. And then the technology behind cryptocurrency, blockchain, is, I think, really the um, the thing to really look at. So when you look at different banks and Tesla, they're going to be opening up their products and services to be able to transact with Bitcoin. I think it's something that is not only here, but it's only going to continue to grow. It will be a part of our financial fabric.
So we have a guest comment. They stated that they heard that Bitcoin was good. So they want to know, is that something they should start out with? If they're just, I don't want to call it a novice, but if you're just on your phone and instead of doing
Mhm.
something naughty, you're just gonna say, hey, I'm gonna transfer a couple of dollars off of my Cash App and get some Bitcoin. Is that something that you would say yes or no to?
I would say yes to. I would
Okay.
say yes to.
And I think you
And
said blockchain.
yeah, blockchain is the technology
Okay.
behind cryptocurrency there. It's in a lot of chip making, chips that we find in our cars and every place else there. So they all go hand in hand.
Right.
Uh, I'm going to quote Warren Buffett when one of his favorite quotes that I like. Uh, he says, and I get this question all the time, when's the best time to invest? Well, the best time to invest is when you have the money. I love that. It's so simple and true.
um, so there are many persons who have why is everybody calling me? You know I'm on this show. Anyway, um, I don't want to relegate the information just to one population, but I want to say that investing definitely has not been something that's offered to our community. You know, where someone sits down and says to you, hey, have you thought about investing? And you know, where would you even start? The first thing that I think that always comes up is that I don't have enough money to invest. I don't have enough money to save. I live paycheck to paycheck.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
you look back at that person and you say,
I say, yes, you can. And yes, you should. And yes, I understand where you currently are. Um, and I'm with you, we don't want to, this message obviously is for everyone, but to break it down to us and that historical um, gap that's there with investing. Um, I think some of that has been a little self-inflicted and I'll say that to like, if you were offered to buy life insurance younger back in the day, that's a form of investing. That is a strategy of the wealth. Um, if you have a job and don't participate in their 401k program, that's on us. We have to be a little bit more trusting. We've been historically distrustful and for good reason because, stuff has happened. Okay. But, you know, it's one thing to know, but when you have to do. So when most of us have been exposed to something along the way, we have to do it. Um, and you have to start small. So that person that's living paycheck to paycheck, that's where you start small, okay? That's where you slowly but surely get a hold of your financial situation with the bills. Pay off the smallest bill first. If you've got 4 or 5 balances out there, start with that smallest one. Get that thing paid off. Now you can get momentum going. Then you get to tackle the next balance. When you create financial margin in your life, now you have the means to go ahead and invest in yourself, whether it's with a retirement account, a brokerage account, or taking advantage of what's being offered through your employer.
Well, what if someone, if the only monies that they receive is a disability check,
Mhm.
and that's not enough to pay their basic living expenses? How do you convince them that it's in their best interest to save or to invest?
You know, I think it's a lot of this is there's a mental approach to all this. We need to, you can't, the old saying, the definition of insanity, doing the same things, expecting a different result.
Absolutely.
Okay. So it's time to do something different. What's been wonderful as an education for me working in this field is how the most average person um, gets to a point in life where they have tremendous balances for themselves. How do they do that? I mean, they weren't captains of industry. They didn't come from money or anything like that. They lived within their means. Because now how much you make is what you spend,
True.
and they consistently save and invested. And people need to understand the power of compounding interest. And the younger you get started, the earlier in life that you get started, it's much more affordable to have a nice pot of gold for yourself at the end of your rainbow, to where your retirement is one with dignity and grace.
Well, we're going to stop and we're going to take a break here. The time is now 4:21. It's amazing how quickly time goes by. And we started right on time at 4 o'clock, and we're already 20 minutes in. We want to say thank you so much to the Deaf and Hard of Hearing for rolling with us for almost a year now. Wow, it's hard to believe we've been at this long. Well, we've been in the pandemic for about 13 months. So um, today you are rolling with the doc, and my guest is Mr. Anthony Williams, and he is a certified um, your personal banker as well as an investment banker. And so today we're talking about how to start investing. That it does not take a lot. It just you kind of start out with a savings account, putting a couple dollars here and a couple dollars there, and before you know it, you have maybe $1,000, and you just can come in and see him and say, "Hey, I think I'm ready." So, hey, my name is Kim, and I have $1,000, and I think that I'm ready. What do we do now?
Yes, time to get started. Um, I encourage everyone to write this website down,
Okay.
investor.gov. It's a website offered through the Securities Exchange Commission, investor.gov.
Okay.
And
I'm going to
scroll.
put that in right now into, yep, as we listen to you say this back.
Yes,
I am
yes.
putting it in here now.
Plug
And
it in there. And do this on that front page. You scroll down to the bottom and click on their compounding interest calculator.
okay, I just investor.com. I just put it in the
Investor.gov. Yep.
oh wow. We do have some questions here. They wanted to know more about the Bitcoins, but we'll come right back to that as soon as we finish about investor. So this is investor dot oh I'm sorry,
Gov.
investor
Investor.gov.
gov. Oh, we do have some questions here. That's we're gonna turn the volume down. All right, so we got investor. I'm gonna do this.
Gov.
Okay.
And find the compounding interest calculator toward the bottom of the page.
Investor.gov. So we have that in there, so everybody can. There you go. I've put it in the chat. So
Okay.
see it, and then I'm gonna click over here on this phone to Google, and I'm gonna go investor investor.gov, and I'm gonna hit go.
Oh, yes.
Alrighty. Ta-da! I'm there.
There it is. Find the compounding interest calculator.
Um, um, I don't know where it is.
It's towards the bottom, but you're doing it on your phone. It might, I'm typically there on my laptop.
Okay, so I'm
usually at the bottom of the page.
gonna request desktop site. So now it's in desktop mode. Financial plan. Here we go. See, I just had to put it in desktop mode. So if you are doing this on your cell phone, what you do is that as soon as the site comes up, there is the little dot 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 mark that's all the way to the right. All you do is click on it, and it'll give you the option and ask for the desktop site, and it'll appear on your phone as if you were on a laptop and or a computer. And so and when you scroll down, that's when it comes up. I am at the compound interest calculator.
Okay. Well, this will be fun. Let's do this exercise.
He's gonna make me work, guys.
Yes. It's much more impactful to see folks, for folks to see you do this.
All right, so here we are, and we're gonna click on compound interest calculator. All right, so it says go to the calculator. I'm going to the calculator. Compound interest calculator. Initial investment. How much am I putting in?
Let's start with that $1,000 example you talked about.
Okay, I'm gonna put in 1,000 dot
I don't,
0.
I don't think it'll like your comma. Just do 1000.
Okay. Delete comma. Oops, wait a minute. Boom, boom, boom. So we put a 1 in, and we go 0. There we go. All righty.
Okay.
It says monthly contribution.
Let's $100.
Okay. $100. Length of time in years.
Let's put 30 years.
Okay, 30 years. 30. Then it asks me an estimated interest rate.
10%.
How much?
10.
Okay. Just put in 10.
Yep.
Okay. And it says interest rate variance range.
You can skip that.
Okay.
Hit calculate.
It says compound frequency, and it says annually.
Yes. Go with annually.
Okay. And then I'm going to click calculate.
Okay. Now share with the audience what that number looks like.
Oh my gosh. It says by year 30. Whoa. Whoa. This is crazy. So it says at year 4, I would have about 28,000. Oh no. Well, okay. At year 14, it says it will be at $37,000.
Right. How about in year 30? What's the balance?
At year 30, I'm at over $214,000.
So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of time and compounding interest. I got the number 10 in terms of the interest earned.
Mhm.
That's the average by just investing in the S&P 500. That's a long-term average return, 10%. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So it's a crock pot. A lot of, we've been programmed with this instant satisfaction here. The microwave society, we want everything in an instant here. So for a young person, that's why I love getting in front of young people. You have the power of great things if you commit to investing in yourself. I mean, you can never go wrong by working
Wow.
on yourself,
So
investing in yourself.
that means if at 20 years old, I may still have some money because grandma gave me $1,000 to buy some books, and I didn't need all of it because I got a Pell Grant. So I
Hmm.
still have her $1,000. So I come to you, I give you that $1,000, and every Chris, you said I had to give $100 a month. Well, I'm working up on campus, so I'm putting $100 away. By the time I'm 50 years old, I will already have $200,000, and I haven't even. That's not counting the money that I've earned from working a job, and I started increasing the amount that I give per month, or actually come in and give you more money on that $1,000 investment.
Absolutely. What, yeah. Once you open up the door, I mean, the potential is endless. You just have to get started. You have to do it. You have to commit. You have to be different. You have to engage in self-control and discipline. You may have to put off that thing, that shiny thing, and wait a couple years on that. Invest in yourself. And that's what our community has kind of missed out on. We got a lot of stuff, okay, but we've missed the opportunity by investing in ourselves and in our future.
Yeah,
And it
like,
is not, and
like
especially now. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said, you're right. We like to invest in things where we can show people this is what we've done. We don't like it when the seed is in the ground. I love it because I'm in a new development. So of course they had to import trees. They haven't had time to grow anything because they cleared the land out so they could build. So, we look at it like, oh, okay, they just imported trees. So now this is year 2 that I've been here, and the trees are really taking root. But in the individual lots where they've planted some things, you can start to see now, oh my gosh, I remember when they planted this plant, put the seed in the ground, and
Hmm.
now this year it's blooming and it's beautiful. We don't like to watch the seeding. We don't like process. We just want to get, oh, I want it, I see it, and I want it to be over here.
Hmm. I love that example. It remind I'm gonna tie one of my favorite stories to tell. Indulge me, please. And speaking of seeds, it's a story of the Chinese bamboo tree. Okay. According to National Geographic, this seed is so hard that it requires 5 years of constant watering and fertilization. Sometime in that fifth year, it finally breaks through the ground.
Wow.
And in 6 weeks, it grows to 90 feet tall. Now, my question for the audience and the point I want to make is did that tree grow 90 feet in 5 years or in 6 weeks? So to your point of that instant gratification, we have to have that discipline and we have to put that work in, even if we don't see the results right now. We have to stay with it. Okay. When you study wealthy people and what they do and their habits, one of the things that you'll find they're not looking to impress anybody, like real wealthy people. Okay.
Mm-mm.
If you one of my favorite experts from the book The Millionaire Next Door, the number one vehicle amongst millionaires in this country is a Ford F-150. That's not
Because
flashy
you
or
know
anything like
why?
that.
Because you
Yeah.
know why? Who drives a Ford F-150? I'm saying.
There you go.
She just who's driving a Ford F-150? I mean, the only reason why I have the car that I do is because the VA bought it and it's
Hmm.
paid for with cash. And the one thing that I do is make sure that I take it to the dealership. I'm sorry, Pookie, Nene, and them cannot work on my car. I don't care how talented you think they are and you love them. I take her. Her name is Glory Hallelujah.
Amen.
She goes to the real doctor. She's not going to no clinic. I'll take her. You know, um, I take her to the dealer, and the dealer does everything. That way, all the work is guaranteed. And I mean, she's on the highway so much. I mean, you might see me in town every now and again, but she's, I don't know what the deal with the highway miles and in town miles. I guess it's all that stopping and starting that you just get to blow the engine just straight out. But I do everything by the book. I take care of it and I keep it up. And it's springtime, so she's gonna go in and get her spring cleaning. They're gonna clean it inside and out. And then if she needs any touch up, we're gonna touch up and keep her going because there's no reason for me to spend that kind of money again, you know. Um, and I'm sorry, just a F-150 is just a little bit high to do a transfer in a wheelchair.
I know your story, so
I'm just
we're
saying,
not talking about you.
I'm just saying. But those are one of
But
the
you get the point.
but it is if you do make a purchase like that, then be able to afford to take care of a purchase like that. So I'm not making a note on it. So the money that I would spend if I thought about, okay, when I bought it, what year was it, how long would the note have been, how much was it worth at that time? If I think about that, I take that same money and I keep that put up separate so that it takes care of the maintenance on it.
Hmm.
So even it won't, because to me that's a major investment. That's
Oh,
when you do things like that, that's a major investment. But let's circle back around. Hold on, I think we got a comment here. It says her mom took her children to open a savings account with a credit union and they save up their allowance and pays them to work for her. Okay, I like that. So our viewer, she is all the way in Maryland. So yes, we're outside of the state now. So
yeah.
yep. She says that she started her children, and I believe they're like 13 and 14. So
Right.
they have had savings accounts, which got opened up for them, and they do odd jobs around the house. They have chores, they get paid, and they are taught to put their money in a savings account. I think that's great. Shayna's like just my most favorite person in the absolute world. So I'm just a little biased in that respect, but I do appreciate her. So just so that everyone knows that she is a mom that happens to have a disability, she is a wheelchair user full time and has some other medical issues. But I appreciate how she's not a disabled mom. She's just a mom who happens to be disabled, but she's treating her children just like any other mom, and they have responsibilities. She's also an entrepreneur, which is another way that she supplements, her income that she, receives and uses that money to help to pack some things away. She's always finding um, different ways to make money from her skills, her talents, just very resourceful, and I love what she does with her children. She teaches them how to make meals for the week. And I mean, those are things that's saving on time, on gas, on going back and
Yeah.
forth. We always say I can't save any money, but when I had to do my budget and I look how much I spend on Uber Eats,
Hmm.
yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. There
I was
you go.
we can cut this in half and actually let's take the time to maybe take half of that money, buy groceries instead of eating out. But everybody's situation is different. It's just two of us, and we look at each other. What do you think? I don't know. I feel like A, B, and C. Well, we got it. You gonna cook it? Mm. Boom, boom, boom. Uber
Order
Eats
it up.
on. you know.
Absolutely.
But my thing is, there are so many people who aren't able to have traditional jobs. So it's not so much of, oh, well, I'm just blowing money. I look at it, number one, stimulating the economy, because there are people who have restaurants and they could not have people in. So it's like I'm helping them out. And those persons who are saying, hey, I don't want to really be around people, but I need to work, because there are some people who feel that way. And driving Uber is a great way because I tip them. That's the other piece. It's not just that they're driving for Uber, but I give them a tip, and not just, oh, the base is 3% or 5%. They even let you put in what you want, but giving them a tip that makes it worth their while. I mean, I'm paying for the convenience, but this person is out here really trying to hustle.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Well, when you love yourself, it's so much easier to love on others. And that's what you are and what you do. And to your friend in Maryland, I applaud you for teaching your youngsters personal finance. We didn't get that as kids. I'm 48. My parents, that wasn't taught to me. So yes, teaching your children save that money, have the bank accounts, planning with the meals, that is a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Absolutely, because access to information is what we have now.
yes, we do.
It's so easy. There's no excuses now, especially for us. There are no more excuses. I'm not accepting any excuses whatsoever, because it's at your fingertips what you can be doing, what you should be doing. Get a grip of yourself, get some discipline, and you can make beautiful things happen for yourself. Okay. Love that. You're stimulating the economy with what you're doing, but you also saw, like, okay, this part of my budget, if I cut back a few percentage points here, I could create more margin for myself. And that story is so common. You talk to people what they're spending over at Starbucks, and just fill in the blank what they're spending their money on. If they would cut back that out, there's your $100 you could find to invest in that mutual fund that mirrors the S&P 500. So a few years down the road from now, you've got yourself a significant financial tool in your toolbox.
So what happens to a person who is, especially those who are maybe military, and they get out, and let's say they have an injury,
Hmm.
and they get money from the VA, and
Okay.
that money is non-taxable, non-garnishable,
Right.
it's used, for the support of the veteran. And
Hmm.
let's say that the amount that they receive per month is the same amount of money that they would have received if they went out and were able to get a job. All right. So
Okay.
let's uh, let's just play with some numbers real quick. They're getting $3,500 a month that is non-taxable, and it's considered retirement money. So for them, it's like, wow, why do I need to save if I'm trying to save for my retirement, but I'm getting paid my retirement right now? Because they have a number that they come up with, and so if that number is commensurate with what they would receive through Social Security, and or maybe their 501, what did I say, 401k. So
Okay.
let's just say that number is representative of someone who has worked 20 or 30 years and is now retired and living on the retirement and maybe had a little bit of savings. But they are, let's say, 35 years old and unable to work, and now they're living at $3,500 a month. Let's just say their living expenses is at $2,500 a month, and that gives them this $1,000 extra that they have. What do they do?
Hmm. Um, Accumulate cash if you can. I have that cash balance. Be it I mentioned earlier about having 3 to 6 months of your take your monthly whatever it costs you to float your household. Okay, whether if it's $2,000 a month to take care of everything you want and need to do, then you need to at least have $6,000, 3 months of that in the bank. Okay, for emergencies and whatever else that may come up. All right. But for this veteran, this specific situation that you're talking about, I always encourage vets to explore all of available benefits and things that you could be doing um, and get through the VA. And if you're at that 100% rating with that dollar amount you're talking about, what's wonderful in the state of Michigan, you that'll depending on your rating, um, you won't have to pay property taxes. That takes care of old student loans, your drivers your license plate. I mean, you have a lot of benefits that could come your way that could create more um, financial margin monthly for you. But if if you've got that $1,000 there that you could either save or you literally could do whatever you want with, maybe you want to leave a legacy. That's another thing that has not been really prevalent in our community. I'm not leaving any money for so and so when I'm not.
You don't know how we
You know
do.
how we do. And that's the thing. That's why I study successful people. They don't think that way.
No.
They don't think that way. So maybe you want to leave a legacy, or maybe you want to do beautiful things a few years down the road for yourself. Put your money to work. Put your money to work. Okay.
So let's just say you have everything you need. You don't really need too much of anything. Your stuff is paid for. Maybe you paid down your mortgage. I mean, that's something that you can think about. That's the other thing is paying off your mortgage early. How much do you need to add per month to that to really go more towards your principal um, to pay your house off early?
Well, depending on the lender, you may have two little different little line items that you could apply your mortgage payment to.
Uh-huh.
Principal and or interest. And maybe you want to apply a little bit more to the principal there. So any extra that you apply towards your principal is a good thing. Whatever you can swing that month, go ahead and do it. Okay. Because by the time you're done with your working life, if you can arrive with no debt, all your big bills are taken care of, this whole thing of, well, you need to have $1 million at retirement. Well, that's just something my industry says to get you to give us more money. Everybody's number is different. I can get you 1 million. You give me enough money over X amount of years, I can get you that $1 billion and then some. Okay. But that doesn't mean that you need that. Everyone is different. It's all about lifestyle. Okay. But if you get to retirement and you've got no bills, well, you naturally have more coming in than what's going out. Now you've got margin. Now you have a dignified retirement and you're in a position to help folks. One of my favorite quotes from Abraham Lincoln: the best way to help the poor is not to be one of
Love it. I love it.
them.
I love it.
Yes,
I love it. Um, so we want to circle back around. Can you believe it? It's like 4:45 already.
I know. That's crazy. Time flies when you're having fun.
It really does. So let's circle back around and let's talk about the Bitcoin because I think that's something that everybody is really interested in. And right now, that's the big craze that's going through social media. This is how much money I made. You really need to do this whole Bitcoin thing. Um, any thoughts about that?
Well, I'll say this: when it comes to investing, don't invest anything that you're not prepared to lose. Okay, because Bitcoin is very volatile. I mean,
Yeah.
it swings very violently. Okay, so you need to be prepared for that. Um, but you can get exposed. Most of us don't have, I think it's trading around, it's close to $50,000 a coin. So we're not buying whole shares of Bitcoin. We're buying fractional shares. So
Mhm.
whether you throw a couple $100 at it or a couple thousand, okay, through some ETF or one of these crypto apps there,
Like
do
that.
it. Yes, do it. Get in the game. Okay, get in the game. You miss every shot you don't take.
Yeah.
Get in the game and do it. But
Yeah.
also, that's think long term. It's important to have an investor's mindset. So you're thinking long term. There's investors and there's traders. The trader is looking to buy something today and make money on it tomorrow. The investor is looking a little bit more longer term, a little bit more holistically. So know what you're doing. Maybe have a strategy where you've got two things going on. This is my investment money. I'm gonna play here with GameStop. That was in the news not too long ago. I'm gonna play with this Bitcoin. Let's see what that does. Well, let me get some good money in this S&P 500 that I know in 30 years is going to really show me a very healthy return.
Right. Hmm. Well, you guys, you heard it here first. That's what we say. You heard it here first. We talk about everything. And we just want to say thank you so much just for dropping a little bit. We know this is not even the tip of the iceberg. This is like being in the car and you see Dairy Queen and it's about a mile away. So we in the car and if you're talking on your phone, your little GPS says you have 1.9 miles until Dairy Queen. Yeah, we're like 1.9 miles away. We
Yeah.
just all we did was put in an address and we just started this journey. So we're definitely going to have you come back. Maybe we even do, a day seminar. So you guys there's a lot of comments, questions, concerns that, we just didn't get to today. But how do you feel about people reaching out to you?
Oh, I'm happy to do so. Please reach out. Absolutely. Yes. Let's figure out the best way to contact me, and I'm
That
here to help.
I have, or which number we giving away and which email. We need to,
Right.
because I'll put it in the header for them to be able to contact you. And if they have more questions, comments, or concerns, or they want to start investing, that's the piece that we want you to
I'm
take
here
some
to
of that
help.
stimulus money. Just go to the bank and tell them, look, we want to put at least $500. You don't want to give 1,000, put at least $500 away, and then add a couple dollars to it until you get to that $1,000. But we are not going to invest any less than $1,000 our first time out the gate. How about that?
Right. That sounds great.
Yeah. I know they're all looking like she always gives something away, little baby Oprah. What you giving away today? Okay. No, I don't know. I don't know. All I do know is that um, I don't know. We'll think about this one.
All right.
We'll think about this one. Maybe we'll find some really creative ways to help people start investing, and then we'll put it out there. But maybe we can work on that, and we can start with something really neat to invest in, even if it's nothing but just go open up a savings account for your kids. Sit down and have the conversation with them. How about we do that?
Yes.
And we come back and we check in. How many people went and opened up a savings account for their children instead of going and buying a whole bunch of brand new shoes? I know y'all been waiting on them Jordans. I know. See, I know how y'all think. You want to wear them Jordans now, or do you want to be able to have Jordan come to your nice house by investing first? How about that?
There you go.
Because money
Change.
attracts money. I'm just
That's
saying.
right.
Or maybe you sit down and you teach them how to design a pair of shoes. You know, they do have an app for that too if you want to learn how to be a designer.
I've seen that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're gonna look at see what we have on here. Tracy Wells says, great show. I love when we talk finances. It's okay to build wealth and plan for the future. Don't be afraid to succeed. I love Tracy. Tracy's not even in the state of Michigan either.
Your reach is far and wide, Dr.
How
Kim.
about that? Tracy does not live in Michigan, but she is also a veteran, and I am so excited about that. Tracy actually lives over on the East Coast of the United States. So, sir, we're really excited about this. And I would like to challenge everybody as we come to a close. We're only putting a comma, we're not putting a period, because tomorrow we're going to have a really great show. We are going to have Dr. Temple Smith with us tomorrow, and we are going to be talking about addressing the inequalities in our education system. I mean, they already existed, but they have greatly expanded since we have been in a pandemic, and it's not over. No, sirree, Jim Bob, it is not over by any means. So, how are we going to deal with that? Making sure that we stay educated. It's about tuning into shows like this because we always have so much, to tell you, and trust. We're doing our research and we're getting some great folks on here. So we're excited tomorrow to talk to Dr. Temple. Yes. We want to say thank you so much to the Deaf of Hard of Hearing for rolling with us today. We always enjoy you, Justine. Yes, she's had the vaccine. She's not a zombie yet either. I've got part of the vaccine, and the jury is still out. The jury is still out. So if you are eligible, and I would encourage you to please go and get vaccinated. It will not keep you from getting COVID, but it definitely will lessen your symptoms if it comes, because your body will have built up enough antibodies to help you fight it off. Yes, that is the purpose of the vaccine, to build up your immune system so that when those little viruses come, they can say, oh, wait a minute, something's happening. They're gonna be like Venus and Serena, pop, pop, pop. You know how they do. Bam, you just hear that. Ooh, I like to hear that pop when that, the tennis racket hits that ball. I like that. But that's what your body does when a virus comes in. Hey, 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 you're supposed to be here. Pop. I like that. But thank you so much, sir. Again, Mr. Anthony Williams, who is an investment banker. We're going to figure out what information that we're going to give to you so that you can get in contact. But I'm serious, guys. What I love that he said the best was, it starts with a mindset. And we have an opportunity to change a whole lot of things just within our mind. And a lot of things happen because somebody thought about it and then they acted on it. It's not just a think, but we really need to make sure that we act. And as we're rebuilding this country, guess what? We need to be in the very fabric of it. We need to be the foundation. How can we do that? We can do that economically. So, hey, as we're rebuilding, let's grab our bricks and our finances, and let's help rebuild America, and let's build it the way we want to see it. Let us be the change that we want to see. All right. So we thank you for tuning in today. Again, we'll make sure that we figure out how we're going to disseminate the information for you to contact Mr. Williams. And I love you guys. Do not forget to, look there, mask up. Yeah. That's the best way to serve your country right now, is to put a mask on it. Thanks, guys. Till tomorrow, the same time, same place.